Hey guys, Aaron here. Finally got myself a Super Nintendo Classic. Like many other people that grew up in the 90s, I had a Super Nintendo myself. And it was really the first Nintendo console, except for the Game Boy, that really got me into the Mario games, into the Zelda games, stuff like that. And I'm glad that I finally got like a mini version of it to complement the NES Classic that came out last year. Don't get me wrong, the NES Classic is a great little console, but it was all about the Super Nintendo for me. And I'm glad it's finally come out. Now, there's a lot of great games on here, 21 in fact, including Star Fox 2, which did never come out. I remember reading about it in magazines, and Nintendo ended up cancelling it. So I'm looking forward to getting around to playing that one. There are other games as well that never actually did come out in the UK. So Earthbound, I believe, and Super Mario RPG didn't arrive over here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to actually getting around to playing them. Again, I remember reading about them on magazines, on TV shows, they discussed them. But yeah, never did come out. So yeah, the other games, obviously you're going to have big hits like Super Mario World, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, Donkey Kong Country. This little console, this box full of joy, it's going to keep me entertained for a while. And a lot of the games, like I've never played before, surprisingly enough. The majority I have, but I was never really into my RPGs back in the 90s. The UK didn't really get that many of them. And yeah, I mean, the size of it as well, at least in the box, it kind of puts the original Super Nintendo to shame, really. And of course, you can't use HDMI on any of these old consoles. So it's really nice to have a little solution where you can just plug a cable in and play it on your HD TV. Now, one other thing as well, I'm really thankful Nintendo did was actually supply two joypads, because to be honest, right, most of these games are two-player or multiplayer. You've got Street Fighter 2, you've got Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario Kart, I can't forget that one. So yeah, great idea for doing that, because the last thing you want to be doing is getting home, opening your Super Nintendo Classic up, and then realising to play most of the games you're going to then have to go online, order another joypad, wait 3 days for it to arrive. So it's all here. The only thing it doesn't come with, I believe, is like a USB adapter, power adapter. But let's be honest, most of us have phones, iPhones, stuff like that. Just use like the a normal USB cable, really, I guess. So what I'm going to be doing is actually doing a real quick unbox video. Maybe look at a few of the games as well, real quick. But I'm going to get straight onto that unboxing. Okay then, so the box for the Super Nintendo, 20 plus 1 games, the one being Star Fox 2 of course, which was never released. Turn it round to the back actually, tons of classic games, Super Mario World, A Link to the Past, Donkey Kong Country. There's definitely a few games missing from this, but still, when you've got stuff like Super Metroid, Street Fighter 2, Super Mario Kart, you can't really complain. So let's just get this thing opened up. Okay then, so on top here you've got your manual. Let's be honest, whoever reads that, so I'm going to put that down to the side. So that looks like the actual console itself. We've got the joypads as well. So I did love the old Super Nintendo joypads. And yeah, they definitely look very similar to what I remember them to be in. I remember I bought a third-party one off eBay to use with emulators, but this feels so much better quality. Yeah, it's crazy to actually be buying a Super Nintendo pad in 2017. So of course you get 2 of those for your multiplayer games. Just pop that one down there. So you do actually get a cable to plug it in. You just actually need the plug from like a phone or something to make use of that. And of course you can't forget the HDMI cable, just on the off chance you don't actually own one, of course. So let's pop that down there. Have a look at the actual Super Nintendo Mini itself. There we go. So you get, of course, the power button, which turns the device on. Unfortunately, the cartridge flap doesn't seem to do much, but there's a reset button you can use. Whether that actually works in the games, I don't know yet. So you've got also another flap at the front, which, let's pull that out, which, yeah, hides the actual 2 controller ports. Now, the actual controller ports are the same as the NES Classic, again, which came out last year. So you can actually mix and match these pads. So if you only actually own one pad for the NES Classic, you can actually use a Super Nintendo one on it as well, or yeah, vice versa. So it's a bit strange actually. You need to pull that out to be able to access them, but I guess it does look a bit nicer when it's done like that. Around the back, of course, you've got the HDMI cable, well, where you would plug it anyway, and the power adapter for a USB. So all in all, it's not a bad little unit. It's crazy to think it fits inside my hand there. Yeah, a bit of a size difference as well from the original Super Nintendos. Let's have a real quick comparison there. There you go. So big brother, little brother. Yeah, what one do you prefer? I can't forget the original Super Nintendo, of course, but it's great, as I said earlier, to have a device I can just easily plug into a TV. So what I'm going to do is just boot the system up actually and see how it performs. So there we go, that's a menu system. Now it did actually ask me to select a language before getting to this stage. So that was a little different to the original NES Classic from memory anyway. But as you can see, the menu looks pretty nice as always. As I said earlier, a lot of these games are 2 players. So already I can see a lot of 2-player symbols on the screen. And I really look forward to actually trying a few of these out like that. So Star Fox 2 as well, which to be honest, for a lot of people, this is the game they want to try out because it was never released, you know. It was cancelled before it did come out. It was rumoured to be nearly finished, I believe around 99%, something like that. So it's great that it's on this collection. One thing you need to do to unlock this though is actually play the first level of Star Fox. Just something to keep in mind. So yeah, a lot of the other games on here as well. So I'm going to go for something like Street Fighter 2. Let's see how this turns out. So yeah, loads up pretty quick. All sounds good as well. Oh wow, it's been a while since I've seen that Capcom logo like that. Been a while since I played Street Fighter 2 Turbo altogether, to be honest. So let's just load that up real quick. And I usually play as Blanca, or Dalsim really. Let's go with him. And yeah, I can already feel myself being transported back to the 90s. I've not got one clue on these moves. I've lost touch of Street Fighter 2 or any of the newest Street Fighter games for a long time, but in any case it all works, you know. One thing I really want to talk about as well is the length of the controller. Now it's definitely improved from the NES Classic, don't get me wrong, but it's still just a touch too small. Now I'm well aware you can actually buy these adapters so that you can actually extend the cable, but it's just something to be aware of. If you had a problem with the NES Classic being a bit too short for the cable, you might need to go out and buy one of those extensions. But apart from that, from where I sit, everything seems pretty good. In any case, it definitely seems like a nice little package, and unlike the NES Classic, I can see myself getting a lot of playtime out of this, mainly due to the fact, as I said earlier, I did grow up with one, and I've got a lot of fond memories for the system, as well as quite a few people that I know, so I expect we'll be having a few multiplayer races with Mario Kart as well. In any case, I think I'm going to leave this video here. I will be hopefully doing a few more videos on the Super Nintendo Classic, maybe some Let's Plays, and of course maybe I'm going to try and fit in a live stream as well at some point. If you did enjoy the video and want to see some more, maybe give the video a like, and maybe even subscribe to the channel as well, that would be great. Definitely want to hear some of your comments down below as well. Thanks for watching.